Hello, students and scholars. My name is Ms. Pagan, and I am a remote teacher. I am also a virtual content specialist. Today, in this video, I'd like to complete the Explore section with you with the supports of a Google Jamboard and self-regulation prompts or to-do steps. In this lesson, we are in day 34, solving a variety of word problems involving area and perimeter using all four operations. Our focus question is, how can we solve story problems in perimeter and area? Please look for the sticky notes for to-do steps or hints. You may be asked to complete the introduction page on your own or with your teacher. Today we will focus on the Explore section. The directions state, Gia measures her rectangular garden and finds the width is 9 yards and the length is 7 yards. A, label the side lengths of Gia's garden. B, what is the area of Gia's garden? C, what is the perimeter of Gia's garden? Use these sticky notes as to-do steps today. Step 1, label the length. Label the width. Step 2, determine the area. You may multiply length times width. Step 3, determine the perimeter. Remember to add all the sides. Press pause, complete these 3 steps using the blue section to explain your thinking. Label, determine the area, and determine the perimeter. Once you have completed this section, you may press play to continue. Students and scholars, as a support, I'd like to show you how I completed this section using the to-do steps. Step 1, label the length, label the width. I know according to the question that the width is 9 yards and the length of Gia's rectangular garden is 7 yards. I can use my Google Jamboard pen or my text box to label the length and the width. So I'll label the width as 7 yards. On the opposite side, I can also label the width, 7 yards. I can label the length, 9 yards, and label the opposite side, 9 yards. I have now used the first to-do step, label the length, label the width, to label the sides of Gia's garden. Step 2, the next question is, what is the area of Gia's garden? The to-do step is to multiply the length and the width. I can use the text box and now go to section B here. In section B, I know that the formula to determine area is to multiply the length and the width. So I can multiply the length, which is 9 yards, and multiply it by the width, which is 7 yards. And I'll write my equation. 9 times 7 is 63. So I know that the area of Gia's garden is 63 square yards. I'll make sure to write a clear answer statement to show my thinking. I multiplied the length by the width to determine the area. And I'll place my thinking inside the thinking box. I'll also make sure to write down my clear answer statement. So I know that the area of the garden is 63 square yards. I'll make sure to line that up so that my teacher can clearly see my answer statement. Now, students and scholars, we have just completed step 1 and step 2 using our to-do steps. Let's complete step 3, perimeter, add all the sides. What is the perimeter of Gia's garden? I can use a text box, and since I have 2 sides that are each 7 yards, I can multiply 2 times 7, and I also have 2 sides that are 9 yards, plus 2 times 9. I know that 2 times 7 equals 14. So I can write 14 plus, and 2 times 9 equals 18. So I now have 14 plus 18, which equals 32. So my total perimeter is 32 yards. I can write the perimeter is 32 yards. I can also, after writing my answer statement, show my thinking. I multiplied 2 times the width and 2, let's make that clearer so you can see this, times the length to find the total of the sides or the perimeter. Now, students and scholars, we have just completed the Explore section of this lesson using to-do steps. We have determined the area and the perimeter, and also labeled each side. Students and scholars, you may be asked with your teacher to complete, or with your group, the summary section of this lesson. What do you notice about this work? What questions do you have? And finally, respond to the focus question. How can we solve story problems in perimeter and in area? This is Ms. Pagan, and we have completed the Explore section together using the to-do steps of labeling the sides of Gia's garden, determining the area and the perimeter, writing and showing our thinking with answer statements and how we solved. Finally, students and scholars, we have completed Module 7, Day 34, with the focus question, how can we solve story problems in perimeter and in area? And we've used the sticky notes or the to-do steps to complete this section. Again, this is Ms. Pagan with you. Please feel free to write questions and comments in our YouTube page so we can best support you as you complete your math lessons.